Hello, welcome back, and we're starting the afternoon session of Transversal Alliances. My name is Erin, and I can see that maybe some of you have been to this place for the first time. I should say this is Architecture Association, the oldest independent architectural school in the UK, and also is a cultural institution with public programs always open for everyone. I know the front door, the black door, looks a little bit intimidating, but it's actually always open. You can just push, and then you can come in and then join all the events. So the Symposium is an associated event of the exhibition Rippling. You feel free to have a look in the gallery opposite, or if the House Foundation on the square. I've seen some of you already enjoyed it. Yeah, okay. So now we are going to the panel, Body MD Performative. And I'll do a very quick casual introduction of all three participants, but feel free to say more things about yourself. So first, Erin Li, she's the curator at Delfina Foundation. What I want to say is that I greatly appreciate the generosity and the energy from her. That's special to me because I met her at an art event. That's one of my first art events, and I must make myself quite stupid by asking, like, what is Documenta 15, for example? And she's the only one in the room that spared energy to explain to me what is Documenta 15. So that's the start of our collaboration. And with Erin, she brings with her a formal reference from Delfina Foundation, artist and performance and visual artist Mo from Myanmar. And I want to thank you for your time and energy to spare to us here, especially if this is Freeze Week. We all know that this is the busiest time ever in the art world. Thank you so much for just being here. And also a shout out to Mo's recent exhibition at Delfina Foundation, also his performance tomorrow at 8 too. Right, okay. And then we will actually start the panel with Mengfan. She's part of the Rippling team, and she's a theater director and a choreographer. And again, I want to thank Mengfan for the start of our collaboration is simply we saw Mengfan's work and we sent a cold message. And thank you for responding to that cold message and join the team 4 years. Okay, let's start with you, and Mengfan will do a lecture performance. Thank you.
So this morning we talked a lot about the topic Granny, Nai Nai. I will start from this point. Dance score I learned from grannies. Dance score 1.
来，手臂高，手臂曲，来，托腹，托得到上面来，托腹，来，托腹，它在后面，后面又是这样，后面来，手放在后头，来，来。
Granny, 奶奶 grandmother, 奶 breast, milk 奶 mother, woman 奶奶 milk to feed, to be rooted, to give birth 出生奶奶 We will watch it again to learn. Dance score 1. The form of granny 奶奶的形式 In the stomach A circle 她的思想在肚子里她的生命是一个完整的圆 I would like to invite you to do this score but don't do it, just imagine. You may close your eyes. 不要做，只是想象。Don't do it. I will talk through. So you're sitting. Feel the 2 sit bones on the chair. You might also put your 2 feet on the ground to feel that you're supported by the ground, like your 2 sit bones are supported by the chair. To raise your 2 arms up high over your head. Cross your fingers in a habitual way. And from there, the crossed fingers, hands, slowly come down and landed on your breast, chest, 你的胸部 nipples, and to press there twice, 3 times. And let your 2 hands slowly down to the ground in between your 2 legs, between your 2 feet. Reach the ground. What are your eyes are looking at? Are your eyes following your 2 hands to the ground? Even though they're closed. From there, you reach something, you take something very precious to you that you receive and that you also like to give to other beings. To take it again and slowly back to your chest and press into your chest. And suddenly you get released somehow from your 2 arms, and they just freely go up to the sky again. Hands to hands. Stick them together and to bring them up high. From there, you can improvise. Maybe you want to go down again to feel your vertebra by vertebra. From the top of your spine to your pelvis, to where the birth is given. Then score 1, the form of granny. Prayer and art are passionate acts of will. One wants to transcend and enhance the will's normal possibilities. Art, like prayer, is a hand outstretched in the darkness, seeking for some touch of grace, which will transform it into a hand that bestows gifts. Prayer means casting oneself into the miraculous rainbow that stretches between becoming and dying. To be utterly consumed in it, in order to bring its infinite radiance to bed in the frail little cradle of one's existence. Then score 2.
这是一共来呀，是那个来了嘛的？
一会儿来。
哦。你看，那找我来其中。
Granny to comb her hair, comb, womb, 源头 the beginning of 开始 womb, beginning at mother tongue. To speak mother tongue, I use my whole body, 全体的身体. But to speak English, I use my tongue. Tongues of stones. Stone, root, rooted. 2 directions. Two directions. Then score 2. To make a spiral, 螺旋. spiral. Attempt at controlling the chaos. 2 directions. Where do you put yourself? At the periphery or at the vortex? 2 directions. 2个方向. Beginning at the outside. Beginning at the outside is a fear of losing control. Winding in is a tightening, retreating, compacting the point of disappearance, 消失. Beginning at the center. Beginning at the center is affirmation. Representation of giving. To move outward. Representation of giving, of trust. Of life itself. Then score 2. The spiral. Then score 3. Repeat. Then score 3. To share a song and to share a tangerine. 산제 초당 소지 초남라 장추 발두 다니 자소지 닭이 진소 지피소 남지 조라 펜처 산제 조발쇼
匍匐来，手不高，手臂曲来。
说大半是干我的啦，
一会儿来。
相思
来，匍匐。
你看那找我来其中。
后面又是这样，后面来，手放在后头，来，对，来。
Then score 4 to play with all the scores. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you, Mengfan, for this really poetic and generous performance. Now we can all enjoy the rest of the day with tangerines in our hand and in our mouth. It's a perfect segue into a presentation by Satt, who's right here, and we're actually going to play a video that bears quite a lot of connections to what Mengfan was just showing us, and it's called Hands Around in Yangon. It was made in 2012 as a commission by Busan Biennale in most hometown city of Yangon. So would you like to talk about it, or should we watch it first? Okay.
背靠着的，背靠着，都按照嘛啥，溜了你。背靠着的，背靠着。你的。 要给人家小弟。
第个把你点，你们都是点名啊，点名嘛，不用查，是吧？点米的嘛，把拉嘛拉的，米的不拉的，拿点，不好。
Ra ngoài là nó rất đẹp.
Rất đẹp.
Jangan kau di rumah, dulu sekali cinta kita.
Chỉ này mình biết được không? Biết liệu cái nó ngạc gì? Mình biết được phải thế nào mà? Phải thế nào mà?
Hello. So this project came up in 2007 when we got a chance to attend a documentary workshop, and then there's like me and some of my colleagues record the same movement around in the city. And then later on, I do for my own project, because that's the one reason. Or another reason is I think during around that 2006-07, and then there's like some of the artists like a hip hop, so they sing about the town where they represent, yeah. So like, okay, I'm from Yangon, I'm from Mandalay, another town, yeah. So it's like, and then also I'm also as a visual artist, I also need, okay, which city you represent, and then how you can be describe your city as an artistic way. And so for me, is most of my work are dealing with the hands, so that's why I try to record and hand movement around the city where I live and where I born, and then so that's why this project came out.
I think we'll use the next 10 minutes to unpack a little bit of Satt's practice in the past 2 decades, especially the series of works that really deal with observation of everyday hand gestures, bodies in the city or bodies you interact with. And then we'll also bring Mengfan in conversation, and in the end we'll also open it to the floor to talk about the different contexts they work in. So to what extent we can relate to each other with our bodies, with our contexts and histories. You just saw Hands Around in Yangon, and in the same year, Mo also made another video called Hands Around in Busan, and it was shown together as a 2-channel video in the Busan Biennale. And currently, as Cyan mentioned, there's also a solo exhibition by Mo at Delfina Foundation, where we bring together another work from 2019 called Hands Around in Georgia, as like a 3-channel to kind of offer a bit more comparative studies of hands really in different Asian cities. And for Mo, this the single observation, or like the factor of how hands move in public spaces could be very telling of a city, of a particular culture. I don't know, do you want to talk a bit about kind of the main differences you identified in making these films?
The first idea is for when I get the invitation in the Busan Biennale, and then so what I want to show, and then so I'm thinking, okay, maybe there's 2 different cities, because Myanmar is considered one of the poorest nation in the Southeast Asia, and then so like the Korea is like a rich nation. So I like to try to find the differences and similarity, and then so that's why I choose that one. And then the Jogja also like different, like like a religions, like the Myanmar and the Korea is like dominated by the Buddhism, and then Yogyakarta in Indonesia is dominated by the majority like a Muslim. So that's why I like to try to find the observation of similarity and then differences in our region.
And I remember asking you why you haven't made something like Hands Around in London, because you spent 3 months here in residence back in 2020, and also now you've been living in Amsterdam for 2 years, and you gave a very interesting answer.
In the mostly like and the development nation, they have like a lot of things that happen on the street. So but like for example, we have in our region we have a street food, and then but in the Europe it's very rare to find a street food, and many activity all happen in the what is like in the office, and then like cooperative building, and then so not see on the published, but you can see in the published transportation, but people are like reading or like using the phone. So that's for me is only 2 or 3 hand sketches are interested, but not really interested. But also in here also like very like privacy. You cannot shoot there. People say, but in Asia we can shoot that if we are okay, and here no, why you shoot me? And so that's why I'm not really there to use it, and also not really how I'm like not really attached to me to make, and also not really have a motivate to make this one. Maybe I will try to find some different way. Yeah. But in that, like as an artist who grew up under the military junta, so we have a censorship, and so that's why even we have in the short period of a democratic nation. So wherever we make that, we have like a self-censorship in our mind. So that is why in this series, and then you cannot see like a sexual touching hand or something like that. Yeah, people ask me why you didn't make it, because in Myanmar it's like 3 main things are the more censorship thing, like religions you cannot touch. The Buddhism, yeah. So and the politics you cannot touch, and then also there's sexuality and then nudity. So these 3 things. So that's why a little bit I was, even it's freely, but I'm not really there to touch it. And
And maybe we can move on and talk a little bit about how you started out about 20 years ago with your interest in making artworks about hands. Which brings us to this very early work, hunting and dancing. So how did that come about?
Yeah, like the hunting and dancing came out from because I started to do art in 2005. Yeah, like before I started to do art, and I have to choose what kind of artist I want to be, and then but at that time, it's Myanmar is kind of the closed society, and then so we didn't know about what is happened in the outside world, and we only know about the painter, like modern artists like a Van Gogh or the Monet, so and then so okay, that I'm only think the artist is like painter, so and. As a painter, so you have to choose your own subject, so that's why I think, okay, I will choose my own subject, it's like hands, and then so because when I was young, I used to look at my hands many times, and then so different reason, and so and that piece the first line is a handing sign from the South Africa, and then second line is a dancing sign from like handing dancing, but all the hands are represent about the animal animal character, and then and also I like the shape of the hands, and like to play with the sound, because there's also get the inspiration from one of the poem in Myanmar. There's like a hand dance, and then but I want to be that song at the time was very famous song in one of the rock song, and I want to be separated to hand and dance, and so then combine with this, and then so differences, and also the different the nation like Southeast Asia and Africa, and then because I never been to Africa, but I just get the reference from the book, and then so. And after that, this piece came out as a performance video and the live performance as well.
Yes, we can just have a quick look at the installation view, where we actually printed this work onto the house blinds at Delfina Foundation, and this is the video that Mo just mentioned. So it's really interesting to see how, with kind of a similar subject matter, Mo really developed it throughout the years and kept finding new inspirations in it, and also presented your creation in different mediums. So first the photos, and now also performance videos. So do you want to talk a little bit about this project, which also now has a new format in this artist book, which you can pass around? But do you want to talk about?
Yeah, the piece is called Face and Finger. So like the Is it first start in like kind of the portrait series? Like I try to find because I got like a very short statement, and like okay, I want to be combine hands and face, and also like, and I don't know how can I combine, but when I got the residency in the Malaysia in Remundahan in 2008, this is my first residency in the region, and in 2 month residency, during that residency, I tried to develop I have like a small digital camera at that time. I think it's only 2 megapixel or something like that, yeah. So, and I record the hand sketcha and like every day, like 3, 4, 5 times up to that. And then, but when I create that portrait series, that some hands can have a meaning, some have no meaning. So I like to play with meaning and meaningless, and some are from my childhood memory, some are from the street, and yeah. So all that came out from my mind at that time. Like for example, like that kind of thing. Like when we were young, so we used to teach kid, yeah. So and also like the gang sign can be like represent about the military, and also like this one like suffocating, or people have to, because living under the military, like you cannot speak. There's no freedom of speech, so there's all you have to mouth, and that's like this time, like this is kind of like you are like how can I say, like
frustrated.
Yeah, like in the 90s, like in Myanmar, maybe you may know that like the Golden Triangle is like a war because the drug, yeah, came out from there, yeah. So and then at that time, like the drug is a very cheap, like especially the cocaine, and then just I have not my generation, like my anchor generation, all the teenager they use in the cocaine, so they have like that kind. If you cannot use it, you have some kind of, I don't know how to call it.
Yeah,
like,
addiction.
Yeah,
like
very addicted for the cocaine. Yeah. So that's the thing, and also like it's combine all this many layer, and then yeah. So and also the one in the like the wave, and then, yeah. So like the shape is like a wave. Yeah. So like in the art form, like many see in the painting like a wave form, and so this is like my wave in my performance, and so on. And that's it 2008 as a live performer and solo performer, and but 15 years later, I tried to collaborate with the dancer, and then also they came out with the book, and also yeah, that if you have time, please come and see my performance tomorrow. That Face and Finger, 15-year journey of the Face and Finger.
Yeah, that's at Tate's tomorrow, 2 and 4 p.m.
Yeah, 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. at the tank.
And also similarly, this interest, I find in both Mo's practice and also in Mengfan's practice, they are not just interested in using their own body. Mo started out a lot kind of performing yourself and exploring your own body as a field of symbolism and sense making, and also a side of political resistance. But later you really expanded this notion of embodiment, of engagement through a lot of more participatory performances and also group performances. Also now, I don't know where the book is, but kind of thinking about instructions, for instance, how you were saying, oh, even if you can't perform one day, or if you pass away one day, at least now the instructions day, and people will be able to pass it through like generations, and they will still remember how to transition through the 108 gestures you created. And also in Mengfan's practice, we saw, well, later we can talk about how you also played a lot with the villagers as part of the research. And
yeah,
yes.
Like the reason when I do the collaboration is after the 2010, like after when the country is transition and from military to the democratic, but only short period of time, like 2010 to 2020. So during that time, so we talk about like power sharing and so on, because you cannot keep the one person who take power. So and then also I have that, okay, most of my performance I use my own body, and then so but. At that time, I'm thinking, okay, how can I work and collaborate with the other people? So if I collaborate, so I have to be sharing the power, and because in Myanmar, we have that. That is also the disco by the military junta, and then because they are like they don't like to do the collaboration, and then they always try to destroy the collaboration and harmony each other, because this is seen in the high school. Like in the school we have a separate a theme, like in the one classroom, like for example, like a four group. So these are named by the hero in the history, like a Lampia, and then so in this way, okay, every day you have the routine, like for example, this thing have a cleaning on a Monday, and then next thing, and then but where the A thing have a cleaning on that, but B thing are trying to put all the trust on the floor, and then so we not really have a collaboration. We want to be always like compete, and then so that kind of mindset are trained in the school kindergarten, and then so that's why in Myanmar it's difficult to find that separate of the collaboration, and also like if like in the music industry, like they say, oh, we have like a group, but that group are only less than 3 years, 5 years. We cannot see 10 years of the band, because
you were in a band back then as well. You wanted to be a rock star.
So but 2010, so we realized that, and then so we need to do power sharing, because in our country, like we are growing up with a black and white concept. So if you are white, you are black, and so we don't really understand about and like a win-win situation and so on. So this is also how the military treat to the society, and then disco to the society. So they.
Yes, and so when you came to London about 2020, you started really finding collaborators here and performing with 3 more performers, and that was the beginning of experimenting with performing with other people,
and also with the instruction as well. So I like to do the performance instruction, because that's also what I read from the Flazzard guidebook, and then so in the Flazzard group they write all the instruction of performance, like for example put the butter on the floor, and then when the audience came, they let them to sleep or something like that. So I like that kind of the performance school, and so that's why I try to write all my performance in the different form.
Should we also bring Mengfan? Maybe we can all move one, so then we each have one. So it's really exciting to have both of you here. You didn't know each other before this invitation from Simon and Chen, but you did meet online, and then also saw each other's performances, met here in London, and I'm super interested in the very different contexts you work in. Mengfan work a lot in this particular village called Shigushan village near Wuhan, and then Mo have worked most of your life in Myanmar, talking about the context there, the political situation, the everyday life there, but now also having recently deciding to move into Amsterdam after participating in the Rijks Academy. So I guess, but we'll come back to that a little bit, I guess, because the context, I guess we can spend quite some time talking about it. So maybe starting with something more simple, this idea of play. I see it in both of your works, although you might be dealing with really broader questions around gender or politics, but I do see this playfulness and also this, especially group play, in both of your practice. So maybe could you talk a little bit about how work playing together with grannies, with villagers, then become inspirations for your art making or choreography?
I think the first impression I got into the village is I start to have a lot of time and don't know what to do exactly. And then I found actually the grannies and the children also have plenty of time. So I think the easiest way to to, how to say, get closer to them is to play. So I start to observe how they spend their daytime. But actually, the children spend most of time the phone, which is really different from what I pictured of village children. So, but I found out that if I invite them into something, they will immediately drop the phone. So I think it's still this bodily engagement is very important in a natural way. So I start to invent some games and using all those materials we found in the village and to let them play together, but it doesn't work sometimes. I mean, the rules, I'm not so familiar with creating game rules. So maybe I use too much about this choreography things to make score or to make something that Chen can to shoot. So then I start to forget about this intention and more just to enjoy, and then I think we really get close and as friends, or just I don't know, they call me sister. And this is I think it's I don't know, I don't know if I found the play or in the process of getting along with them, we generate this game scene together. But it's not for to be captured or something. It's just for us. Yes.
Yeah, for me is when I start to do the performer art, we have my senior generation, they are doing very serious stuff, like a very heavy politic, and then that's why I want to do some different. So because our people are already suffering, and why you show that kind of serious is also too much for them. So that's why I use some kind of the playful in my art, and also I use all my childhood memory to bring to their life, and I use some child game and also the toy, and so because I was grew up in the slum area, and then it's in that we have in the summer holiday, so the whole day we play, and then so also our skin also change in the 3 months. So I'm really very very dark skin came to there, and then so I really like my childhood the life. So that's why I use all the childhood game, and also for me, I don't like to the perform in front of the audience, and this kind of the two separate layer, audience performer, and so I always try to make a border of the audience and performer, and so that's why I ask some type of audience to do something, and so they can transform to the performer, and so I can be in the audience. So I like to play with that kind of thing, and so so that's why playfulness is one of my method in the one, and also the audience participatory. So.
Any chance you want to show us a little bit of this transitions, and we can all test out our fingers for a little bit? Anyone up for it? Testing how flexible your fingers are? Just a very quick one.
Okay, maybe that's also the shot from my performer face and finger. Yeah. So, okay. Thank you.
You were doing even better than the Tate audiences yesterday. That was so fun. I guess my second question to you both is also, I think this theme that goes through the whole day symposium, the process-based approach to art making, cutting across anthropology, filmmaking, like arts and choreography. I guess we might know some artists who work in kind of a more commissioned way, or kind of when they know there's an exhibiting opportunity or like an exhibition, they then make a particular artwork. But I feel in both of your practices, your life is almost like your art making or your choreography process. I don't know, how do you see kind of this approach to art making, and does it matter where the boundary lies? Like when does play kind of seep into the making of an artwork, and then how do you brew ideas and take inspirations from everyday life?
So in my art practice, early of my art practice based on the performance base, so like time base, and then just only happen one time, and then after that there's nothing. But later on, I was also that is because I don't have any photograph. Because that's also how I educate by myself. So when I started to do the art in 2005, I'm thinking, okay, I'm not studying the art, I'm conceptual artist. So, and since the 2005, I'm thinking, okay, 3 years, 2005 to 2008, I'm making like a bachelor degree, but not in the art university, it's a street university. I do a lot of the live street performance in like 1 month, one time. So after that, so I have to be reflect myself. Okay, what is a weak point, strong point in that, and how can I reach to the audience, and what is a good way to reach to the audience and bring to the audience. So I practice and I learn from my experience, and also so after that, so like so 2008 to 2010, so I say, okay, now it's as a master, and then so since there, so I start to curate the performance art festival called Beyond Pressure. So and also. And 2008 to 2010, so 2 years. So after 2010, so I start to also push into my boundary and what else I can do. So performer add to the some installation, and also the some video and some object. So nowadays for me, what I like to do is I like to transform my early work to the nowadays with a different form, like also like one of my live performance like temporary, to now I like to transform the sculpture piece, So and also the photographies to the like a stay to the live one, and then so for me I like to be like the way of the like a transition, and how I can be transformed to the one art form to the another form. So not really stick in the one art the Yona, and then also I also pushing as myself to what else I can do. Like, and every year I because this is also way of my art. But every year I learn new thing, and then so this new thing I put in my art practice. Like for example, in 2011 or 12, so I attend the curtain making class, So because at that time I'm like I like to drink, so I like to make how to a mixology of the drink, and then so I attend, and also even when I was in New York, so I attended New York the Badana school, and then this is first is for the I like to drink, but later on I try to find the history of the Kote, and so after that I make one performance lecture with the drink, like different period of my country, like British colony time and then the Japanese colony time. So I sub to the Orient with the drink. So all I relate with the history and also all the ingredient are using with the relate with the history of at that time, and so talking about history and drink, and then so this is like try to push into what else I can go, because I'm not study the art, and so I'm not the painter and then drawing. But I will not go back to drawing and painting. But I want to do something different. You know, art can be eat and drink, and then so but not really have to be seen. Yeah.
I think the experience in this village, Shigushan, really changed my way of looking at art and also making art, because this granny that I showed in the first dance score, she the way she speaks and moves and do everyday things is really like an entity that I experience it as a performance. So I think she was so attractive to me that I want to meet her every day, and I think this is something. It's same kind of desire or motivation you do art. So I think I spend most of time with her, even though I know we need to also spend some time with other people and to do other things. But she really has this kind of magic power, and later on, I found out everyone thinks she's psycho, like mentally sick. So they all ask me not to play with her anymore. But I think at that moment, I think, okay, that is so-called social norms, or maybe she's the real artist. And I think art is also something, especially in performance, you need to experience it as a whole. So when I was with her, I really tried to take everything from her and somehow to digest it or embody it. And I want to have this feeling in me while I am performing other things, especially when it is about getting older, or what I always work on is about aging. So this topic is really important, and how to be aging in this moment, even though you're not a portrait old lady or sick, weak body. And I think this is also a very important image I have about China. 老, aging, and also down to the ground, to the earth. And so I never thought in this village I somehow get a region or the source of me as a human being or as a Chinese. So somehow this integration, I brought it with me, and it's a keep going process that like Mo said, every year learn something new, but it will be integrated at the same time because you have this body opened to a lot of things.
Your body as a vessel that keeps taking in new content. That's so lovely. I guess that can take us to the next question, more about the different contexts and also what role maybe embodied knowledge or performance as a medium could play in conveying that different audience, the different context to new audiences. I know you both have worked quite internationally. Mo has performed in Europe, in the US, across Asia, in different festivals and exhibitions, and every time like the audience is quite new. And also Mengfan has studied in Europe, in Germany? Yeah. And then you also, as a theater director and choreographer, you present your work deeply rooted in this reality in the village in China, and you present it elsewhere. And I feel a lot of times as a curator, seeing a lot of exhibitions now, there's a lot of very popular kind of exhibition making that's really more based on like language or like sight as the main senses, but kind of I feel sometimes we forget a little bit more about the embodiment of knowledge or of experiences. And so for me, that's also why performance is such an interesting medium. Sometimes I feel like when we embody someone else or maybe a different elements, a different culture, we might be able to understand it way much better than trying to read about it in a sense. So I wanted to see how you feel about that, like performing in very different contexts, and how you kind of bridge that gap. Like when you perform to like a completely new audience, they might misunderstand some of your cues. I've been to one of your performances where you expect the audience to kind of put their pinky on the ink pad and then like press onto your face, and then they just like put it on their own face, and then you have to like, I just wonder kind of how different audiences perceive the same work, the same performance, and then how you adjust it to that.
So the question.
Sorry, yeah, very long question, but just any thoughts, I guess, on how maybe performance as a very special medium to convey somatic experiences and embodiment that can maybe help us create transversal alliances, or like, get to people from very different backgrounds. Or if anyone in the room has something to say about this topic, I guess that's why we're all here.
Same questions. Only that, just that I wonder, the responsibility of representing a place in another place can be very heavy. No, so I guess my question was also about that. Maybe how does performance help you to detach from that place or bring it with you? Mengfan, you were saying you really want to be that woman and bring her emotions to a different space, right? But maybe sometimes it's very heavy to represent another place somewhere. Maybe you could just speak to that.
Thank you. I think it's not a representation. It's more like to have them all in the background, and you are also looking at yourself from this distance, but not really here. So you watch this happening, and I think doing performance is really difficult, and I don't really have the ambition to bring performance everywhere, and also I'm quite lazy to apply for anything. So most of the time I just sit there and wait for messages like Chen Nan signs sent me that time. Because I think to keep this performance pure and authentic, I shouldn't be busy. So I should have enough time to really look into myself, and it took this amount of time. Yes, but also, for example, today I also didn't really prepare a lot. It's more about just waiting for something to come and review all the materials. And so I have a lot of these small clips from the village, and they're all very strange when I look at them again. But somehow I could really find some connections between those movements and what they actually try to teach me. Because there's a granny used to say a word like, she always say it, if I don't teach you, you don't know how to do. And at the beginning, I was like, and then I really start to know that I couldn't do certain things if she didn't explain to me. So somehow, I think this compassion and the wisdom they share to me is really important, and I want to deliver this. Yeah. Yeah.
So are you saying when you were making the work, you kind of wasn't thinking so much about the work being presented here in London? You were more just like what's authentic to yourself? And
yes, so this score was just prepared last night. So when today I was doing it, it was like rehearsal. Sorry about the bad quality. Yeah.
I guess life itself is also just continuous rehearsals.
Actually, I have no answer for this. Yeah, but I have one thing to say. Like sometimes, like when I travel a lot and I'm showing something, but I feel that sometimes, yeah. So like, is it maybe if we like they invite us, they invite me as a like. Sometimes we are thinking, came on. Maybe they invite me as a like a monkey from Amazon, yeah, so very rare thing. So they want to see something, yeah. So yeah, so that also maybe I feel that, yeah. So that different country going around and then yeah. So but as also the misreading or misunderstanding for my pieces, I'm okay because the art is not like 1 + 1 = 2. Yes, the audience can be interpreted with their own background and so on. But yeah, like there is when you say like if you represent about your country or your city, is too much burden to you pushing and then yeah. So yeah, but. For my piece, yeah, I always showing like all my work I relate with my country politics. What I mean politics is like against to the military junta, yeah. So maybe that's also the definition of politics in the West can be different, yeah. Because when we say politics as a Myanmar artist, we are like against the military junta and authority and so on, yeah. So yeah, so there's so many things the in one meaning, but different interpretation can be happen and then yeah. So
maybe to give some context, so you mentioned recently in the past few years, quite a lot of artists from Myanmar or creatives, I guess, left the country, moved to like either Thailand or maybe like Europe, and a lot of that is related to the military coup that took over in February 21, and despite all the protests that people were like engaged with, and even a lot of people, including yourself, were imprisoned for that. You currently don't see that much space of practicing the kind of art you do back there. So yeah, I guess that's the context of the politics you were talking about. But also, you have been mentioning how now that you've been based in Amsterdam for 2 years and being at the forefront of contemporary artists of your generation from Myanmar, a lot of times people also have certain expectations of you, and also maybe a lot of your more political or overtly political works seem to be picked up more in like group exhibitions, because maybe that's what people kind of want to see or want to see from you. But then you also start to think, oh, but you know, what else am I interested in? That's not the whole remit of my art practice. So I thought these kind of thinking as you now move to a different country is also really interesting and important. And yeah, so I guess now we open it up a little bit to the floor. We have a couple minutes. Yeah, any questions or comments? Or do you two have questions for each other?
You have a question for me?
I can ask you later.
Well, yeah, should we then make it a more intimate conversation? Then we will have a break.
Yeah, we've got some tea and coffee next.
Amazing. So we can all chat over tea and coffee. That sounds nicer than us sitting here on the stage. Thank you all so much for joining today. Thank you, Mo. Thank you, Mengfan.